Open your phone right now, go to your contacts, scroll. For most people, there's somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 names in there. Now ask yourself something real. If something went wrong tonight, and I mean actually wrong, how many of them would show up? Not text, not react. Show up. For most people, the honest number is under 10, sometimes under 5. And that's not because you're a bad friend. It's not because the world got colder. It's because of something an Oxford anthropologist figured out in 1992. And almost nobody talks about it anymore. Your brain has a hard ceiling on how many people it can actually know. The number is 150, and every single one of us has been quietly blowing through it for the last 30 years. Robin Dunbar wasn't trying to ruin anyone's social life. He was just studying primate brains. He noticed something weird across dozens of species. The bigger an animal's neocortex, the thinking part of the brain, the bigger the social group that animal lived in. Almost a straight line. Bigger brain, bigger tribe. So he did the obvious thing. He plugged human brain size into the equation, asked it to spit out the number for us. The answer came back, 150. He figured it was probably a coincidence, so he started checking. Hunter-gatherer tribes. Average size? Around 150. Ancient villages from archaeology digs? 150. Then he looked at the U.S. Army. The basic company size, the unit that has to function as a tight group under pressure, sits between 100 and 150 soldiers. The military figured this out the hard way, decades before anyone put a number on it. Then he looked at modern companies. Once a workplace passes around 150 employees, something snaps. People stop knowing each other. You have to start hiring middle managers. Anyone who's worked at a startup that grew past that size has felt the shift overnight. The whole place changes. 150 wasn't a coincidence. It was showing up everywhere. It's not a guess. It's a measurement of what your brain can hold. And here's what's actually wild. The number didn't move when the internet showed up. It didn't move when phones got smart. It didn't move when Facebook came out. It didn't move when everybody started carrying 5,000 contacts in their pocket. Your brain is running the same software it ran 30,000 years ago in a cave. 0 updates, no upgrades. Your contact list? Different story. So what happens when you stuff 5,000 people into a brain built for 150? Hold that. We're coming back to it because Dunbar wasn't done. He kept digging into that number and he found something else. Layers, concentric circles, rings inside rings. The outer ring, around 150, is people you know. You'd recognize them, place their face, make small talk at a wedding. Inside that, 50. Friends, people you'd invite to a real party. Inside that, 15. Close friends, the ones whose bad news actually ruins your day. Inside that, 5. Your inner circle, the people you call first. And at the very center, 1 or 2, the people who get everything. This structure shows up in almost every culture ever studied. Different languages, different rituals, same shape. That shape is what your brain is built to maintain, not by choice, by design. And here's where modern life gets cruel about it, but quietly, almost politely. The structure doesn't disappear. It just fills with the wrong people. Your inner 5 used to be the ones you saw every week. Family, the best friend down the street, your spouse, the neighbor who'd notice if your car wasn't in the driveway. Now, for a lot of people, half that inner 5 is taken up by someone they haven't seen in 2 years. An ex-coworker, a friend who moved to another state, a parent on the other end of a phone call that happens twice a month. The slots are still there. The brain is still trying to fill them. It just keeps reaching for people who aren't really inside the circle anymore. Quick thing, if any of this is hitting, subscribe. This channel digs into exactly this stuff. The patterns nobody points out, but everybody half feels. Stick around. Next part is worse. In 2016, researchers ran one of the most thorough studies on online friendship ever done. They looked at Facebook accounts with hundreds, sometimes thousands of friends. Then they measured who actually interacted with whom. The number of real close friends people had online? Around 4. The number of meaningful contacts? Around 150. 5,000 on the screen, 150 in the brain. The platform changed. The ceiling didn't. And here's what nobody warned us about. Your brain has no idea it's being lied to. When you scroll past 100 faces a day, your brain logs every single one. It can't help it. That machinery is from a time when seeing 100 faces meant you were inside the biggest gathering of your entire life. A wedding, a funeral, a festival, something massive. Now it happens before lunch. Every one of those faces takes up a tiny piece of the same neural real estate that used to belong to your village, your tribe, the people who actually mattered. The cost isn't dramatic, it's slow. It's a low hum in the background that never quite turns off. You feel weirdly overwhelmed, and you can't say why. You feel surrounded by people and somehow can't name one to call at 2 in the morning. You feel like everyone else is doing better than you because you're comparing your real life to the highlight reels of 5,000 outer circle strangers your brain has filed away as your people. You weren't built for this. Nobody was. Think about a normal Tuesday. You wake up, check Instagram, 20 faces before you brush your teeth. You scroll LinkedIn on the train, 50 more. You open the group chat, then another group chat, then Slack, 40 more. By lunch, you've seen more individual human faces than your great-grandfather saw in a year, and your brain logged every single one of them as someone I know now. In small societies, the people you saw every day were the same 150 for years, decades, your whole life. The brain never had to rebuild the map. You knew their name, their history, their weak spots, their kindness, their recipe. Now the map gets rewritten every time you open an app. New faces, new strangers, new micro-impressions of people you'll never speak to. Your brain is doing the same social math it's always done. The math just stopped making sense. So what do you actually do with this? Probably not what you think. The answer isn't delete your accounts and move to the woods. It's not cut everyone off. It's something way more boring than that. The inner 5 matters more than the outer 5,000. That's it. That's the whole thing. But most people spend their attention on the wrong ring every single day. They check the screen, scroll the strangers, keep up with the acquaintances, and then leave whatever time and energy is left over for the inner circle, which is usually nothing. The people in that inner ring are the only ones your nervous system actually relaxes around. They're the ones who shut off the background hum. Everyone else is just noise your brain is being polite about. Dunbar himself, when somebody asked what people get wrong about his number, said something simple. He said the limit isn't about how many people you know. It's about how many you can have a real relationship with, the kind that costs something. Time, attention, showing up. That's the currency. It always has been. There's no upgrade for it, no app for it, no hack. The strangeness of modern life isn't that we're alone. It's that we're surrounded by ghosts of relationships our brains keep trying to take seriously. You don't have 5,000 friends. You have a brain that keeps trying to count them anyway. So here's the move. Pick up your phone, open your contacts, find the name of someone in your inner 5 you haven't talked to in too long. Text them, call them. Don't wait until next weekend. Don't wait until next month. Your neocortex hasn't changed in 30,000 years. It's been waiting for you to stop scrolling strangers and use it for what it was actually built for. 150 people max, 5 at the center. The rest is just light hitting a screen.